I want to welcome you to the Empowered Agent. This is our episode 1, and I wanted to take a little bit of time to introduce myself. I'm Tristen Campanella. I'm a top producing agent and coach and mentor in San Diego, California. I am so on fire to help more agents reach their goals this year, especially as more agents are getting out of the market, as the market is shifting so much. So I wanted to launch this podcast so I could be a resource in your journey as a female rockin' realtor. I hope anyway. So let's get started. Today is going to be a real simple one. It's going to come back to the basics of planning. And oftentimes I have found either myself or other agents don't have a plan when it comes to real estate. When we're coming back to basics, one of the number one things I come back to is my plan. And if you haven't, it's the beginning of February, if you haven't had a chance to make a plan, don't stress. And actually, you can do it several times a year. You can download my free business plan in the show notes or just use one online. Pretty simple to get just your basic numbers in so that you can work backwards and then really make a system around how are you going to get there. That's the number one thing I see most of the time is on these lead generations places or get more leads on social media. Well, what is the plan? What is the starting point and the goal that you want to work backwards from so that you know what to do, what actions to take when you are making your real estate plan and you're making your goals. Now, the other thing I'm terrible at, and I've gotten so much better over the 10 years I've been in real estate, is revisiting my plan every month and checking to see if I'm on target. Am I taking the actions that I need and what are the results that those are producing? Oftentimes, again, we just kind of put the plan and then we move forward. I do believe in a lot of manifestation and I think that is so important to put out into the universe what it is that you want and let it manifest and kind of trust in that. However, you do need to look and make sure you are following some kind of plan. And that will go into further podcasts about time blocking, scheduling. How are you going to actually follow the plan that you've created? Okay, so what should be in your plan? And I'm just going to go over a few key things. Number one, we're going to start obviously with our GCI goal. And I'm in San Diego. So my gross commissions per transaction is often higher than other people's, but my cost of living is way higher than other people's. So when you're a real estate agent, you need to really think about what is my desired income gross, and then what is my sales point? What is my commission, my average commission, my median commission, however you want to figure it out, per transaction. And then you can figure out how many transactions you need to sell to get to that gross commission, and then look at your business a little bit further and say, am I buyer heavy? Am I seller heavy? And then we can kind of work backwards from there. How many buyer conversations do we need to have? How many seller conversations do we need to have? And all of this is in that business plan so that you can track and measure how many conversations you're having. I would say roughly on average, I need to have a minimum of 5 brand new conversations a day, 21 days out of the month. So I try to put a whole week off in my month so that I don't go crazy, because oftentimes I'm also out showing properties or doing listing appointments. So once we get those numbers, then we're going to start to put into some actionable items. Like, what are we going to do? How are we going to show up? So let's say one of my goals is I want to generate more social media leads. Well, how are you going to do that? How many times are you going to post? What content are you going to post? When you do get your buyer and seller leads, what are you doing with them? So the number 2 thing I can tell you to set up yourself for success is to get your content creation calendar out. There are so many free tools. You can message me anytime to get one, a recommended one, and make sure it's just even Canva. I love Canva. Canva has one, and I don't have any affiliation with Canva yet, but Canva has a free one, and you want to make sure that you're putting consistent posting in that you're actually going to do. So, and you want to be the agent of value. It is so incredibly important right now because so many agents are starting to struggle that you actually know your numbers in your market, that you know exactly what's going on, that you post weekly housing market updates, whether it's for your zip code, your area, area, your city, whatever it is, but that people start to see, oh, wow, that realtor really knows what they're talking about. Of course, we want to put buy, sold, and all that fun stuff that looks like we're doing active stuff, but really people are fearful and nervous right now about the economy and about the market. And they are checking constantly on what this housing market is doing because it's a day-to-day basis. So we really want to be that agent of value, whether it's in this housing market or any housing market. When they think, gosh, who knows this market really well, you want people to think about you and your name come out of their lips. So really standing out. From that, what am I going to do? Then we can take that housing market and we can break it down into content. So we can put it into our Instagram, our blogs, a YouTube video, short reels, LinkedIn, and you can kind of Gary Vee the situation out of it and then create content around it by batch videoing, which I will do a podcast about batch videoing. Okay, the third and number one thing, once we have this great plan, we have to actually take consistent action. Now, most people get into real estate and now they're their own boss and they're like, oh, wow, now what do I do? This is so important that you spend at least 2 hours a day touching people, having conversations, creating new opportunities, being the agent of value, but you have to be super consistent. And I'm not saying every single day, I'm saying 4 out of 5 days. Connect with people on social media, DM people if you don't have buyers and sellers yet. Do open houses. If you choose to do open houses, do 2 a month and stay consistent. What we do today is not going to show up until 3 months from now. And even then it could take longer. But when you're consistently reaching out to people, asking what they need, asking how you can be of service, asking if they need a referral for a contractor, sending value, being the agent of value, and taking consistent daily action day after day, then the outcome just has to follow. We cannot control the outcome. We can only control what we're doing, our actions. And we have to trust into that action building, that momentum is going to start to carry us. So that's it for today's podcast. If you plan on being an outstanding agent in 2023, those are my top 3 things to start off with. Number 1, plan, plan, plan. Number 2, be the agent of value. And number 3, take some consistent daily action. If this podcast was valuable to you, I would absolutely love for you to share it with another person. Tag me in it so I can thank you. Let me know what other content and what other information you're struggling with in your real estate business so that you can feel empowered to build a business that you love and that your life is thriving. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you on the next episode.